My friend, you and I stand today at the threshold of the greatest secret of achievement ever known to mankind. It is a secret so simple that the majority of men and women pass it by without a second glance. It is a principle so powerful that to apply it is to set in motion forces which can no more be stopped than the tide can be stopped from coming in. I want you to look at your life right now as it stands. Look at your bank account. Look at your position in your chosen field. Look at the respect you command from your peers. And I want to ask you a question that will determine the entire course of your future. Are you getting out of life what you feel you truly deserve? Or do you have a nagging feeling, a persistent whisper in the back of your mind, that you were meant for more? That you have a greater purpose, a higher calling, that has yet to be fulfilled? Let me tell you a story about a young man. He had no special advantages. He had no rich father. He had no formal education to speak of. He went to work as a simple laborer in a vast industrial empire. His job was mundane, his pay was meager, but this young man possessed a secret. He did not merely do the work that was assigned to him. He began to study the machinery. He began to learn the entire operation of the factory. He stayed after hours, without pay, to understand the business from top to bottom. When a problem arose, he was the one who had a solution. When a question was asked, he was the one who had the answer. He rendered more service, and better service, than he was paid to render. And what was the result? Did he remain a lowly laborer? He did not. He was promoted again and again, until he became the president of that great corporation, and one of the most respected industrialists in America. That man was Charles M. Schwab. His story is not an accident. It is not a lucky break. It is the direct and inevitable result of a fundamental law of success, a law as real, as unchangeable, as the law of gravity. Just as a stone, when released, must fall to the earth, so too must a man or woman who consistently applies this principle rise to the top of their chosen field. This is not a theory. This is not a hopeful wish. This is a cosmic law. And that law, the subject of our discussion today, is the law of going the extra mile. What does it mean to go the extra mile? It is the conscious, deliberate practice of always rendering more service, and better service, than you are paid to render. It is doing more than is required. It is giving more than is expected. It is the habit of putting your whole heart into everything you do, not for the approval of others, not for the immediate reward, but because of the person you become in the process. Think of a ship at sea. A ship without a rudder is a ship at the mercy of the winds and the currents. It will drift aimlessly, never reaching a definite port. That is the life of the person who does only what is required of them. They are drifters on the sea of life. They go where the current takes them. They end up wherever the winds of chance blow them. Now, picture that same ship with a strong rudder, a skilled captain, and a clear destination. That ship cuts through the waves. It defies the currents. It moves with purpose and power toward its chosen goal. That is the life of the person who has adopted the habit of going the extra mile. They are the captain of their own soul. They have taken control of the rudder. They have a definite destination in mind, and every extra effort, every extra mile, propels them directly toward it. The difference between these two lives is the difference between poverty and riches. It is the difference between obscurity and influence. It is the difference between misery and joy. A life without this principle is a life of quiet desperation, of wondering what might have been. A life with this principle is a life of achievement, of power, of profound satisfaction. You must choose which life you will live. The choice is yours, and yours alone. Let us now break down this great principle into its core components. We will examine it, study it, and understand exactly how you can make it a permanent part of your character. There are 3 key points to mastering the law of going the extra mile. First, you must do more than you are paid for. Second, you must do it with a positive attitude. And third, you must give more than is expected. First, do more than you are paid for. This is the foundation. This is the raw, unvarnished action that sets everything else in motion. You are not paid for what you do. You are paid for what you could do, but refuse to do. The world pays you for the value you bring, not for the time you spend. Most people have this backwards. They think, I will give this much effort because I am paid this much money. That is the philosophy of the mediocre. That is the mindset of the eternal employee. The successful person thinks, I will give my absolute best effort, and I trust that the compensation will adjust itself to match the value I provide. Why must you do this? Because it makes you indispensable. When you do only what is in your job description, you are a cog in a machine. You are replaceable. There is always someone else who can do the exact same minimum required task. But when you do more, when you take on responsibilities that are not yours, when you solve problems before you are asked, when you add value in unexpected ways, you become unique. You become the person who cannot be easily replaced. The law of supply and demand applies to you as an individual. When you supply more value than anyone else, the demand for your services will skyrocket. How do you do it? It is simpler than you think. If you are a clerk, do not just process papers. Look for ways to make the system more efficient. If you are a salesperson, do not just make a sale. Learn everything you can about your customer's business and help them solve their deeper problems. If you are a mechanic, do not just fix the part that is broken. Give the entire machine a quick inspection and point out potential future issues. Clean up your work area so it is spotless when you leave. Look for the extra task, the unfinished detail, the unattended problem. That is your territory. That is where you will plant your flag and claim your fortune. You might be thinking, but if I do more than I'm paid for, I'll be taken advantage of. My employer will just use me. And I say to you, in the short term, that may seem true. But in the long term, it is an impossibility. The universe does not work that way. You cannot consistently render more service than you are paid for without eventually being paid for more than you render. It is a law. It is as certain as the sunrise. If your current employer does not recognize and reward your extra effort, the entire market will. Your reputation will precede you. Other employers will hear of you. Opportunities will seek you out. The extra mile is never crowded. It is a lonely road at first, but it is the only road that leads to lasting success. Second, do it with a positive attitude. This is the spirit in which you render that extra service. This is the catalyst that transforms mere action into power. You can do more than you are paid for with a scowl on your face and resentment in your heart. You can do it grudgingly, making it clear to everyone that you feel you are being mistreated, and you will get absolutely nowhere. In fact, you will go backwards. Your negative attitude will poison your efforts. It will cancel out any good you might have done. The extra service rendered with a negative attitude is like a beautiful apple, rotten at the core. It looks good on the outside, but it is worthless and destructive. Why must you have a positive attitude? Because your mental state is contagious. It influences everyone around you. A positive attitude makes your extra service a gift. A negative attitude makes it a complaint. Your boss, your customers, your colleagues, they can all feel the difference. People are drawn to positive energy. They want to be around it. They want to reward it. They want to promote it. A positive attitude makes you a leader. It marks you as someone who is in control of their own life, someone who operates from a position of strength, not weakness. How do you cultivate this attitude? You must see the extra service not as a burden, but as an investment in yourself. Every time you go the extra mile with a smile, you are depositing a coin in the bank of your future. You are building your character. You are forging a reputation. You are not doing it for them. You are doing it for you. You are building a habit that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. Start small. When you are asked to do something, say, "I'd be happy to," and mean it. Look for the opportunity in the task. See it as a chance to prove your mettle, to demonstrate your quality. Your attitude is a choice. Choose power. Choose positivity. You might be thinking, but I don't feel positive. My job is boring. My boss is unfair. I understand. But I am not talking about your feelings. I am talking about your decisions. You do not have to feel positive to act positive. You act positive, and the feeling will follow. You control your mind. You are the master of your own thoughts. Do not let circumstances dictate your attitude. Dictate your attitude to your circumstances. This is the mark of a mastermind. This is the sign of a person destined for greatness. Third, give more than is expected. This is the final piece of the puzzle. This is the act of surpassing expectations, of creating delight and surprise. Doing more than you are paid for is about quantity and scope of work. Giving more than is expected is about quality and thoughtfulness. It is the final polish on the diamond. It is the signature on the masterpiece. Why must you give more than is expected? Because it builds trust. It builds loyalty. It creates stories that people will tell about you. When you simply meet expectations, you are satisfactory. You are a transaction. When you exceed expectations, you become memorable. You become a partner. You become a friend. People do business with people they trust. They promote people they believe in. They recommend people who have surprised and delighted them. Exceeding expectations is the fastest way to build an army of supporters and advocates. How do you do it? You must put yourself in the other person's shoes. What would delight them? What would solve a problem they didn't even know they had? If you are delivering a report, don't just deliver the data. Provide a one-page summary of the key insights. If you are a waiter, remember a customer's name and their favorite drink. If you are building a product, add a feature that is useful but not strictly necessary. Finish early. Deliver before the deadline. Package your work beautifully. Add a personal note. The little things are the big things. The extra touch, the unexpected bonus, the act of caring that goes beyond the contract. This is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Let me tell you a story about a farmer. This farmer grew the best corn in the entire county. Every year, he won the blue ribbon at the state fair. One year, a reporter came to interview him and learned something fascinating. The farmer shared his best seed corn with his neighbors. The reporter was astonished. "Why do you share your best seed?" he asked. "With your competitors? Aren't you afraid they will grow corn as good as yours and beat you?" The farmer smiled. "The wind picks up the pollen from my corn and carries it from field to field," he explained. "If my neighbors grow inferior corn, the cross-pollination will degrade the quality of my own corn. If I want to grow good corn, I must help my neighbors grow good corn." My friend, that farmer understood the law of going the extra mile. By giving more than was expected, by helping his neighbors, he was not losing. He was ensuring his own continued success. He was raising the standard for everyone, and in doing so, he secured his own position at the top. When you give more than is expected, you enrich the entire world around you, and that enriched world, in turn, lifts you higher. You might be thinking, this sounds like a lot of hard work. It is. I will not lie to you. It is the hardest work you will ever do. It is a daily discipline. It is a constant choice. But let me ask you this. Is it harder than a lifetime of regret? Is it harder than watching others surpass you, knowing you have the same potential? Is it harder than lying awake at night, wondering, what if? The hard work of going the extra mile is the kind of work that pays you back 1,000-fold. The easy work of doing the minimum is the kind of work that impoverishes your soul and your bank account. Now, how do you make this law a permanent part of your life? How do you move from understanding it to living it? The answer lies in the power of repetition and faith. This is not a one-time event. This is a habit. And a habit is formed by daily, consistent practice. You must program your subconscious mind with this principle until it becomes as natural to you as breathing. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful force within you. It is the seat of your habits. It is the engine of your actions. But it is a slave. It must be fed instructions by your conscious mind. If you do not deliberately program it, it will be programmed by your environment, by your fears, by the opinions of others. You must take control. And the way you program your subconscious mind is through repetition. You must repeat the actions of going the extra mile, day after day, until they become automatic. Every morning, when you wake up, make a decision. Decide that today, you will find at least one way to do more than you are paid for. You will do it with a positive and cheerful spirit, and you will find one way to give more than is expected. Do not let the sun set on a day where you have not practiced this law. It does not have to be a grand gesture. It can be a small, simple act. But it must be done. This daily ritual is how you build the habit. This is how you forge the steel of your character. This daily practice is how you cultivate a burning desire. A desire is not a mere wish. A wish is passive. A desire is active. A burning desire is a consuming obsession. It is a white-hot heat in your soul that will not be denied. When you go the extra mile every single day, you are feeding that desire. You are proving to yourself, through action, that you are serious about your goals. You are building the evidence that you are the kind of person who achieves great things. Your faith in yourself will grow. Your confidence will become unshakable. You will know, with a certainty that defies all doubt, that you are on the path to your definite chief aim. This requires faith. Faith that the law is real. Faith that your efforts will be rewarded, even when you cannot see the immediate result. You are like a farmer planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to see if it is growing. You have faith in the laws of nature. You water it. You weed around it. You trust that beneath the soil, a miracle is taking place. Going the extra mile is the same. You are planting seeds of future success every single day. You must have the faith to keep planting, even when you cannot yet see the harvest. Your harvest is coming. It is as sure as the changing of the seasons. So I call you to a commitment to yourself, a commitment to your future. Make a pledge right now that for the next 30 days, you will live by this law. You will not miss a single day. You will seek out opportunities to apply it. You will become a student of the extra mile. You will become a master of exceeding expectations. For 30 days, give it everything you have. And at the end of those 30 days, look at your life. Look at the new opportunities that have appeared. Look at the new respect you are given. Look at the new confidence you feel. You will be a different person. You will be on a new path. The path to riches, the path to influence, the path to a life of profound meaning and purpose. And so, we come to the end of our discussion. We have laid bare one of the greatest success laws known to man, the law of going the extra mile. We have defined it. We have broken it down into its 3 essential parts. Do more than you are paid for. Do it with a positive attitude. Give more than is expected. We have seen how it operates through repetition and faith. We have heard the stories of those who have used it to achieve greatness. Remember the question I asked you at the beginning? Are you getting out of life what you truly deserve? You now have the answer. The answer is that you deserve exactly what you have earned. And if you want to earn more, you must become more. You must give more. You must serve more. The key to having more is first, becoming more. The law of going the extra mile is the process by which you become more. Your call to action is clear. It is immediate. It is urgent. Do not wait for Monday. Do not wait for the first of the month. Do not wait for a sign. The time is now. Today. This very hour. I want you to take the first step. I want you to identify one thing, one single thing, you can do today to apply this law. One task where you can do more than required. One interaction where you can have a more positive attitude. One delivery where you can give more than is expected. Do it. Do it now. Let this be the moment your new life begins. Let the words of this great principle burn themselves into your mind. Let them be your guide, your compass, your creed. Repeat them to yourself every morning. Carry them with you throughout your day. Make them the foundation upon which you build your empire. If you render more service than that for which you are paid, you will soon be paid for more than you render. If you render more service than that for which you are paid, you will soon be paid for more than you render. Go forth and claim your destiny.